With that development, Jim,
Yeah.
what is President Trump saying?
Well, our nation's capital has officially become a playground, Brooke. The president has responded in sort of a childish way, is the only way to describe it, to the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, to her letter, essentially saying that the State of the Union will be postponed, or she asked that it be submitted in writing if the government is still shut down. This is the letter right here from the president. The press secretary, Sarah Sanders, I guess in lieu of having actual briefings here at the White House, just tweeted this out. It says, Madam Speaker, due to the shutdown, I am sorry to inform you that your trip to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan has been postponed. We will reschedule this 7-day excursion when the shutdown is over in light of the 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay. I'm sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate. It goes on to talk about how the president is going to continue to defend the nation's borders, and he's calling upon the speaker to join his strong border security movement, as he's calling it, to end the shutdown. But what this letter does not include, Brooke, is any kind of response from the president to what he's actually going to do about the State of the Union coming up on January 29th. We've been talking to our sources throughout the last 24 hours or so, and what we understand is that they're looking at a variety of options inside the White House. I talked to a White House official late last night who said, look, the president is going to show up at the Capitol on January 29th to deliver the State of the Union speech. And I talked to one Trump advisor earlier today who said that some of the betting is, and these are folks who egg on the president to some extent, but some of the betting is that Nancy Pelosi will fold in all of this and allow the president to deliver the State of the Union speech. And this advisor described the Trump-Pelosi battle right now as King Kong versus Godzilla, and will allow the viewers at home to decide which one is King Kong and which one is Godzilla. But this letter is not really I mean, just to offer an observation, not really a serious response to what the House Speaker said yesterday, which is you can't have a State of the Union speech at the Capitol on January 29th.
So hang on a second. All right, so this is the president's volley. Now back to Speaker Pelosi. Does the president have the authority, Jim, to cancel these trips to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan? Not only is she a member of Congress, she is the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. Can he do that?
Well, the letter goes on to say, obviously, if you would like to make your journey by flying commercial, that would certainly be your prerogative. I suppose the president is saying if the House Speaker would like to fly commercial on a commercial carrier, she can do that. But what the president is saying is that he's not going to allow government employees to be a part of any kind of excursion that the House Speaker would be on overseas, whether that be flying her, protecting her, and so on. And so, yes, this is sort of a back and forth that seems to be going on between the president and the House Speaker. But interestingly, and up until this point, we haven't seen it, no response from the White House to the House Speaker saying yesterday you can't give a State of the Union speech on January 29th. This letter right here, saying that he could cancel her upcoming travel plans, is about the closest thing we've come to any kind of official response from the White House to the House Speaker and her letter about the upcoming State of the Union speech, Brooke.
Okay.
The mystery continues. What can I tell you?
Yeah, it does. ... Jim Acosta,
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go up the road from you to Manu Raju, who's catching the other end of this on Capitol Hill. And so, all right, so the president writes Nancy Pelosi saying, I'm sorry to inform you, you can't go on X, Y, and Z trip unless you want to fly commercial, which is, I guess, his volley back from her saying yesterday, you know, I'm going to postpone your State of the Union, or you can do it from the Oval Office. Can the